Study finds probiotics are quite useless. Huh, are those probiotics you're popping actually doing anything? According to a study published in the journal Cell, probiotics were found to have little or no effect inside the body. Researchers created their own probiotic cocktail by using 11 bacteria such as lactobacillus and bifidobacteria to test how well probiotics would colonize a healthy intestine. Half of the participants were given the probiotic cocktail while the other half were given a placebo. In about half the cases, the probiotic went in and came out the other end without doing anything for the body. In the other half, the probiotic stayed for a while before being eventually crowded out by the microbes already in the body. Dr. Aaron Elenov, a researcher involved with the study, told the BBC in the future probiotics would need to be tailored to the needs of individual patients. The study was conducted with a small group of participants and needs further studies to confirm the results. More stories related to bacteria.
Gyms are covered in bacteria more filthy than your toilet. Researchers at FitRated, a fitness equipment review company, released results of a study it conducted at 3 different gyms examining germs left on machines. Sampling 27 pieces of equipment such as treadmills, exercise bikes, and free weights, the researchers were looking for 4 different kinds of bacteria, some known for their resistance to antibiotics or for causing pneumonia, skin infections, and respiratory illnesses. From examining the exercise bicycles, the researchers found 39 times the amount of bacteria you might find on a plastic reusable cafeteria tray. From examining the treadmills, the researchers discovered more than 74 times the amount of bacteria you would normally find on a water faucet. And from taking a closer look at free weights, the researchers found more than 362 times the amount of bacteria you'd expect to find on the average toilet seat. Each piece of equipment sampled was covered in more than 1 million square inches of germs, and more than 70% of the bacteria found was proven to be harmful to humans. So maybe next time you hit the gym, remember to use workout gloves and soap, because as we now know, most gym rats are dirtbags. No offense.
Botulism outbreak strikes Northern California. A mother of 3 is lying paralyzed in hospital with her life in the balance after eating contaminated nacho cheese sauce. 33-year-old Lavinia Kelly is one of 5 confirmed cases of botulism linked to patients who ate at the Valley Oak Food and Fuel gas station in Sacramento. Foodborne botulism usually occurs in foods that are improperly stored or prepared. Botulism spores exist in the environment. In the absence of oxygen, the spores grow into bacteria that excrete toxins. According to the World Health Organization, botulinum toxins are one of the most lethal substances known. Symptoms usually occur within 12 to 36 hours after exposure, with fatigue, weakness, and vertigo often followed by blurred vision and difficulty speaking. The toxins affect the nervous system and cause paralysis. Vomiting or diarrhea are common, and the disease can cause weakness in the muscles. Lavinia Kelly was driving home on April 21st when she pulled over to the gas station, bought a bag of Doritos, and poured nacho cheese sauce over the chips. The next day, Kelly was admitted to intensive care, where she remains more than 4 weeks later. Officials in Sacramento said there were 4 more potential cases linked to the nacho cheese sauce, which would bring the total to 9. On Tuesday, Kelly's family filed a lawsuit against the gas station for negligence.
Not because he was attacked by crabs. A New Jersey man who went crabbing last week in a river has been infected with flesh-eating bacteria and is now on the verge of losing all his limbs. 60-year-old Millville resident Angel Perez was in the Maurice River fishing for some crab before sunrise one day. But the day after he headed home with a fresh haul of crabs, his right leg became swollen, then turned red and broke out in blisters. A few hours later, all of his limbs turned raw and red. He continued to break out in blisters with marks all over his body. Perez's family said he had developed Vibrio necrotizing fasciitis, a flesh-eating bacteria that can be contracted in salty water, especially during the summertime. According to Perez's family, the infection has already spread from his feet all the way up above his kneecap, and his forearms are black in color. His limbs are covered in blisters, cuts, and sores. Perez is currently in ICU, and doctors are waiting to see if he responds to antibiotics before they consider amputating at least 3 limbs or potentially all of them. The family also mentioned that another family member had recently gone into the same river and now has a rash and swelling on her right leg, and a friend of Perez who also goes fishing there is now suffering from a baseball-sized swelling in his elbow. New Jersey's advanced media says that the chance of getting the disease is rare, but the bacteria in the water can enter through a scratch or a scar. Local and state health officials told the media that they're aware of Perez's situation, but are not aware of any potential dangers from the waters. The New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection said the flesh-eating bacteria that Perez had been contracted with is not common in the waters, while Cumberland County Health Department said the bacteria exists regularly in the waters, especially when the water is warm.
Millions of bacteria-infected mosquitoes to be released in Fresno. The life sciences arm of Google's parent company Alphabet plans to release 20 million bacteria-infected mosquitoes in Fresno, California, in hopes this will wipe out the mosquito population that could potentially be carrying the Zika virus. The company uses larval rearing robots to raise Aedes aegypti mosquitoes with the naturally occurring Wolbachia bacteria. The mosquitoes are then separated into females and males to ensure only the males are released. When the infected males mate with female mosquitoes, any eggs produced will not be able to hatch, thus eliminating the wild Aedes aegypti mosquito population. About 1 million infected male mosquitoes will be released in Fresno over a 20-week period. The mosquitoes will be released by specially designed vans in 2 300-acre neighborhoods. Other technology companies in the U.S., including Microsoft, are also developing automated and robotic ways to improve the way we can combat mosquitoes. The Black Death is back. 2 counties in Arizona reported fleas in the area that have tested positive for plague, otherwise known as the Black Death, a disease that killed millions of people in Europe in the Middle Ages. Navajo County and Coconino County in Arizona have issued warnings about fleas testing positive for the plague bacteria Yersinia pestis. Fleas carrying the bacteria bite and infect rabbits and rodents. Household pets can also pick up the fleas. The bacteria can be transmitted to humans who handle the sick animals or directly through flea bites. The most common form of plague is the bubonic plague, which is when the bacteria enters the lymphatic system and cause infection in lymph nodes. The person can then become septicemic or pneumonic when the bacteria spread to the lungs. A person with pneumonic plague can transmit the disease to other humans via droplets in the air. Untreated plague can cause serious illness or death. Modern antibiotics are very effective in treating the disease, but only if you are treated in time.